Girls, you look so good. Won't you back that ass up? You a fine motherfucker. Won't you back that ass up? You got a stupid ass. Yeah. Make me laugh. Yeah. Make a. Won't you grab that? Oh, wait. Sorry. Wrong thing. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My next guest is a great friend of the show. Started his career in an awesome way as an engineer. He is also an NFL correspondent for the show, an all around winner. Bryan McKeon, welcome back to the show, my friend.
Thank you, Matt. Hope all is well.
Oh, you know it, man. Just a little boo boo on the top of my head, and I read the wrong notes. Yeah, you like that song, Back That Ass Up by Juvenile?
I don't think I've heard that since like middle school, but yeah, sure. It's definitely a little throwback to start it off.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I just wanted to see what would happen. And I didn't say any other bad words, only said motherfucker. So, well,
That's
obviously,
that's basically a common phrase in New York, so I think you're good.
at this point, right? But
Yeah,
Bryan, it's great to see you, my friend. What's going on? How have you been? How's your summer?
nothing much, man. Work. I just started work. I June 6th, I started working at a structural engineering firm downtown in Five Eyes. So getting the ropes of that now. My 90 days is on Labor Day actually. So, I get out of that introductory period and I'm a full-blown employee now.
Look at that, and I hear you're going as far as to make some strides, making 3 a.m. calls with clients, being the
Yeah,
good employee that you are.
you got to work. You know what I mean? Whatever they need, you got to do. I want to put a good impression on and everything like that. So if it's calls in the morning because of time zone differences or working late, you got to put your dues in now so you can retire early and have a successful career. So while I'm still young, I still want to do that.
Hey, man, you're earning it, and I'm sure your new bosses are very proud of you. So, Bryan, great friend of the show as always. As we're about to start essentially a new season, NFL season of podcasts. Well, you'll be coming on a weekly basis to talk all things NFL and some baseball, hopefully with the Yankees postseason run and more things beyond that. So it's great to start a new stretch of Bryan McKeon podcasts. So before we just hang out and just talk, I want to know what are some of your early thoughts coming into this NFL season as we're recording roughly about a week and a half before the kickoff. And as we're recording this 2 week, no, yeah, 2 weeks from this Sunday will be. So we're recording this on Thursday, the 25th. It airs the 29th, Tuesday. So
Hmm.
it'll just be about a week until the season officially kicks off. And
Yeah.
so obviously we'll save all our analysis and major takes for the NFL show. I just want to know, what are you feeling initially as a Cowboy fan, as the season is about to unfold? What are your thoughts coming into the NFL season in a little preview before we get more in depth with it?
Sure. I won't give any league projections. I'll keep that for next week. I'll give a little cowboy opinion and stuff like that on the
Mhm.
NFC East, maybe. But I think this might be the most exciting year for the NFL in the last decade, to be honest with you, because we keep on talking about the passing of the torch between Brady and Rodgers. You had Big Ben retire last year. Matt Ryan's getting up in age. You're seeing the passing of the torch
Right.
of quarterbacks that I grew up with and you grew up with. Like, right, we already saw Drew Brees, the Mannings retire. So it's like we've seen that now. Now it's becoming, Brady's time is ticking, Rodgers' time is ticking. There's a Super Bowl pressure on them. Could Brady steal another one? Could Rodgers get that elusive second ring? So
Hmm.
it's very, could Matt Stafford, do lightning in the bottle again? Could Matt Ryan on a new team, change it up? So I feel like we're going to see a lot of veterans try to make a last push before they close the books on their career. But I also see it as a big prove it year for a lot of uncertainty in quarterback. So we have Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. Is he he's a starter, but is he a franchise quarterback? Could he improve as a passer? We know his mobility. Could he take that Eagles team to the next level? In my opinion, I think they should win the division and make a run in the playoffs. It's based on him. He needs to play well for that to
Hmm.
happen. You have Tua Tagovailoa in Miami. Is he deserving of the 5th-year option getting picked up after the season? So we have a lot of things to see about him. He has Tyreek Hill now, Jalen Waddle. There really is no more, excuses for him. Can Mac Jones and now have a good second year and improve on that rookie year? You have a lot of that going on. Can Kenny Pickett pull it away from Trubisky?
And you do
For the
think he's going to get the
Steelers?
job?
I don't
As
think
of
he's
this
going to get.
moment where we're recording, it's technically up in the air. But
Yeah, I hope he doesn't get it.
me
I hope
neither,
he doesn't.
because there was somebody who was more supporting my life, a big Steelers fan, and not anymore. So she could be humbled by that. But
Yeah, I just think of it. I like to see. I don't like rookie year. New system with the Steelers, especially not a good offensive line. With you don't really see. He was a good quarterback in college. At Pitt, you want to see. It's not the best. Pitt's a great school for football, but is it like you don't see him in the playoffs? The competition might not be as good as other schools like in the SEC and stuff like that. So, I don't want him to get thrown in the fire like Trubisky did.
Yeah, right.
And then lose confidence. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I also think Trubisky's going to play very well this year. I think he's going to end up being the starter for the entire season. He's the only quarterback in NFL history for 500 passes, I think, to not have a pick six thrown yet. So, that's a good thing going towards him.
I saw that. I know that. And he is also a former MVP, the Nickelodeon.
Yeah, the Nickelodeon. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he made a Pro Bowl. And it goes back to the age-old story of the NFL. Quarterback is the most unlucky position ever.
And you can't win
get drafted.
Unless you have the best defense ever.
Best defense ever, like the Ravens in 2000 and 2001, I think it was.
2000 Ravens beat the Giants in that Super Bowl.
Yeah, and then if you look at the Buccaneers,
yeah,
in the early 2000s, I think they had like Brad Johnson as their quarterback.
Exactly. Jimmy Mann was good, but mostly the 85 Bears was all defense. But it happens, but it's just very rare.
It's very rare, and I also think it's about the system you go into. Like Trubisky didn't have a good team around him. So it's very hard to be successful and win that second contract when you don't have good players around you. He had Allen Robinson, but besides that, he had a terrible offensive line with a weak head coach that really didn't know what he was doing. So like you automatically got set up for trouble. So I think it just shows you more in the league that I think coaches want to wait on a quarterback for a year because they don't want them to ruin them. And it's also a public image thing as well, because once you have that one bad rookie season, the second season is brutal for them. Look at Justin Fields. If he has a bad season, he's done. And it might not be his fault.
Patience anymore in the
no one has patience.
Football league. And pretty much if your name's not the Browns, Jets, and Lions, you seems to have a chance. But maybe the Lions seem pretty interesting.
I think the Lions might have a shot. I won't say anything about my projections for any of the seeding, but my surprise team for the NFC might be Detroit.
Really?
Yeah.
And my surprise team out of the NFC would be probably at this moment the Panthers, but I still have a week to figure that out. I think Baker Mayfield can make something of his legitimate weapons. But exactly like you said, that's a story for another day more in depth next week.
I think you can too.
But yeah, I totally hear what you're saying, especially after one of the most exciting off seasons we had with so many people moving, especially just look at the AFC West. What a
crazy. It's the best division in the history of football, besides the NFCs. No, just in the last decade, I would say. Decade, it's the best division in the last decade, easily.
For sure. And you've got a Super Bowl winners out of there. Broncos and Chiefs.
Yeah.
All won.
Colts back in the early 2000s. Oh, no, that's the NFC, AFC South. Never mind.
But we'll still see what another year of Justin Herbert, what he could pull off.
Yeah.
As you said, this generation of the Rodgers, Brady, Stafford, Ryan of what's left. And then you have obviously what Mahomes is going to do, what Herbert will do, what Josh Allen will pull off. And we'll have a lot of fun with it. My Giants are not looking so good if you really take stock into the trading camp reports, especially.
Yeah, I'm a little worried for them.
And we'll see what I mean, it looks like Daniel Jones is going to start regardless, but people say Tyrod Taylor should be the one to get the job. We'll see if Saquon Barkley to stay on the field. Who the hell do we even have with these weapons? We have a hurt Sterling Shepard coming back. We have Kenny Galladay, so we're still waiting for his first touchdown as a Giant. Now it's
Yeah.
2 years since that signing. We don't really, the tight end position is such a question mark. So I don't know. All I could say now is I hope Brian Daboll, if anyone could save Daniel Jones's career, could be the guy who made Josh Allen a legitimate star.
Yeah, and hey, guess what? Right? If he's not good, there's always a guy in Philadelphia as a backup right now, but that was a very good, that was a above average starter that got shit luck and got shipped out of Jacksonville. Gardner Minshew. That's always an option.
Gardner
That
Minshew. You know
Gardner Minshew is a
what
great
else?
bridge quarterback.
What else do we have to lose at this point? But I'm already focusing on the guy from Ohio State and Bama. If we're not in a good place by week 5, whose names I cannot remember at this moment, but I will definitely.
Bryce Young, I think it is. Bryce Young.
Yes.
Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. Stroud, I
Exactly.
think
Those
it
are
is.
good.
CJ
Stroud and
Stroud.
Young.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
nothing to get too scared about, but I'll just go with
I
that.
have one rule.
Hmm?
I have one rule. You don't draft quarterbacks from Ohio State and Alabama.
Yeah, clearly, unless you're Joe Namath, and that's it. So
Joe Namath and Mac Jones right now. That's really it.
And then if anything, maybe a surprise AFC team, just to throw it out there. Honestly, the Colts, who with Matt Ryan, we still have Jonathan Taylor on there.
See, they're
Stellar
not.
defense, and after their horrendous collapse in the last 3 weeks and preventing themselves from getting a playoff position, you really do upgrade at the position quarterback, which was needed, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, you see, for me, I think I see the unraveling in Tennessee in this season right now, just with the quarterback situation. And I really think that Derrick Henry's taken a beating in the last few years, and then this might be the point where he starts to, slow down a little bit.
This would
They
be
have
his
Robert
slow down season.
slow down season, which might be 1,300 yards, but when you 700 yards less of 2,000 is a big is a big loss for an offense. Offensive line
especially
has
after
changed
a
up for
year
them.
off an injury too.
Yeah,
Was able
exactly.
to come back in the playoffs, but was too
Yeah,
late.
and remember, you got rid of AJ Brown. You still don't have a good tight end since Janu Smith, and your second best receiver behind is Traylon Burks, a rookie. Your number one receiver right now is coming off an ACL on Robert Woods. So there's a lot of question marks with the Titans. I think Colts are a lock, but my surprise team is the Miami Dolphins.
With Tua, you think Tua will finally show his worth? That'll show that, hey, Alabama quarterbacks can maybe make it in this league, in this new
The way I think,
generation. And
the
you
way I
have
think
Tyreek
about
Hill.
it, yeah, the way I think about it with talent wise is I think they beat the Jets twice, and I think they could beat the Patriots twice just because of how the defense has aged so much. They lost J.C. Jackson at cornerback. Malcolm Butler's out for the season at cornerback. They had a safety retire as well. So the secondary is pretty weak on the Patriots right now. And with a guy like Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, I just don't see that offense getting beat by that defense of New England. Plus, New England has a bunch of question marks with.
All right. Brian is paused for a second. You still there? Hopefully, Brian will be all good. So we're just going to pause it really quick and fix our technical difficulties. Be right back. All right, we are back. Brian crapped out for some reason, but we're
Technical
still
difficulties.
here. Technical difficulties, but good thing the Zoom didn't resume. The Zoom did not mess up on my end, so we can resume this. But regardless, I'll just let you finish your last point. If you finish it, then we'll move on to other things. And you were talking about
Dolphins.
the Dolphins. So
Yeah. So the way I think about it is they're going to beat the Jets twice. There's no doubt about that. If they beat New England twice, that's 4 wins. If they go 500, the rest of those games, 13, right? Right. There's 13 to 7, 16. There would be another 12 more games. If they go 6-6, right? They're 10-6. That's a wild card team.
And then you think they could at least win one game in the playoffs? Could they make a run?
Yeah, I think they listen. It's all about the offense. If Tua could if Tua could connect to Tyreek Hill and do what he did with Jalen Waddle last year, and float around the 15th to 18th best quarterback in the league around that, I think they'll be fine. They have the Gesicki at tight end. They have the best cornerback duo, one of the best cornerback duos in the league with Byron Jones and Xavier Howard, and they got a young front seven on the defense. Like, there's a lot of playmakers on that team, on that defense and on offense. And they might, with now they have Rasheem Mostert at running back. Like, there's a lot of opportunity for them to really grow this year. And I forget what their record was last year, but I'm pretty sure it was close to 500. It wasn't anything. It wasn't like drastically bad, if I remember. So I think they have potential.
Yes, to answer your question, they went 9-8.
Yeah, so they went 9-8 last year, and they improved their roster.
Yeah. So and the new
yeah.
coach, who might be the funniest coach out there already, to Mike McDaniel.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
so excited for his press conferences. But it's pretty good stuff, Bryan. And I can't wait to go more in depth with you next week on it. And
Absolutely.
we'll go from there. Now, the other sports conversation we could have with this before we just have some fun with other things. So, there was a time, Bryan, where I thought you were going to be a Yankee fan again, even though that's where we initially met Yankee Stadium. And last year was as tough as it can for a team who could still win over 95 games, or they won 92 games. And yet it was so hopeless.
I was mad.
This offseason got really strange. And I don't know. Some of these moves at first looked good, but Josh Donaldson looks like a waste. IKF is fine defensively, but can't hit for shit. But Jose Trevino has been definitely an upgrade at the same time. And then but regardless, Yankees had a hot start, looking good up until the pretty much the third, fourth week of July. And then it got really, really bad. Stanton gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But Stanton has returned since. The
Yankees
today, I think. Returns today at the time of this recording against Oakland. Huge 2-game sweep on the Mets. I saw you were there for the Silver Series.
One of the best games that I've ever been in my life.
What a good time there, and I hit my parlay.
My first Subway Series.
Really?
It's my first Subway Series. Oh, it was electric.
Awesome time. But now we are at we're about to hit September. Yankees have a nice, comfortable lead in the AL East, yet some concerns with more injuries have taken place. Nestor Cortez, but some people think that he's literally just going to rest. There's nothing catastrophic. Mm-hmm. After some big wins, especially even though they needed to beat Toronto the last game of the series last week, and now they're playing a weak Oakland team, and hopefully by the time when this is released, they can win 3 out of 4.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. They're 0-0 in the top of the second, 1 out.
Okay, good. Yeah. But regardless, there was a time where I thought you were gonna not be Yankee fan, but now, even though the beginning, pretty much all of August, looked like it was going to be a downhill spiral, the Yankees are now back on track in one way or the other. So I wanted to say, Bryan, how you feel about the Yankees at this moment before we hit September, and hopefully we have a postseason run ahead of us.
So I would say that I'm still in the exact same feeling as I was last year about the Yankees. Okay. If you could look back in conversations we've had, texts and stuff, and I could even ask my parents and my brothers and sisters about convos and my friends on convos with the Yankees this year. I haven't drank the Kool-Aid or believed in them still, because they will not learn their lesson year after year. Mm-hmm. And like I mentioned on the previous podcast when we talked a couple of months ago, they still rely on the home run ball to win games. Mm-hmm. And that will be there. And it's very funny. I'm a Cowboy and a Yankee fan, and I'm a realistic Cowboy fan. I'm a realistic Yankee fan. I'm almost like Stephen A. Smith at this point now, because I just criticize these teams all day, and people are like, how do you like them? I do. But it's aggravating to watch the Yankees sometimes because they rely so much on the home run ball. Like Andrew Benintendi, I was so happy they got that signing. IKF, amazing signing, in my opinion, because they're moving in the direction of contact hitting.
Yes.
DJ LeMahieu, still, he's having a down year, but still contact hitting. It's a necessity in this game to be able to play the slow ball and be able to contact hit and not rely on the home run. And if you notice, right, the first 60 games of the season, they went 44-16. That's .733 win percentage, right?
How can you not be excited when a team is literally winning 700?
Yeah, I was happy, but I noticed tendencies though. In those 16 games, it's when they didn't get home runs. If you look at those 16 games, I think only I was looking today, I think like less than half of them had a home run in it, which other games no home runs. That's a little that was concerning to me because they rely so heavy on the home run. I think it was something like 75 to 80% of the games that they played, and one of the 44 they hit a home run in. So you have these home run reliant teams. Now look at the second. Now they played 64 games since that. Today's their 125th game. They're 32-32.
Ooh, 500 ball. That is
they're
not
500
good at this
ball.
moment. With a bullpen that you don't know what the hell's going on with them.
Yeah. They're the first. I read in the Daily News last Saturday. They're the first team ever to go 44-16 and then go below 500 in the second 60 games.
Isn't that embarrassing?
That's embarrassing. That just shows you inconsistency. I think it starts with the general manager. I think it starts with, the coaching. I think Aaron Boone is an okay coach. I don't think he's a great coach.
Bring back. They did re-sign him.
I wasn't happy about it. And remember, who did I say I wanted the Yankees to become a head coach? Do you remember?
Was it Buck Showalter?
Buck Showalter. Yeah. And look at the Mets right now.
They're slowly going to take over this town.
They're a sound baseball team too.
Yeah, there's not one bad hole. They know how to hit for contact. They know how to hit for power. They have a complete bullpen, which we thought Clay Holmes, wow, this guy could be a closer for the next few years. And now he's hurt, and then he's just not confident anymore. Whether you're doing with Efros, but he just got hurt.
I actually have the list.
Chapman isn't getting the position. Loizica got the save against the Mets, but I think that's the major problem. But one of the major things, and the first thing you said, is the GM. It all goes to the GM, Brian Cashman. And if you look at who we picked up in the second half, all of them are been terrible. Ben said started to hit a little bit, but Montez looks so lost in pinstripes like never before. I know initially he was on the bereavement list, and you can't pound the guy that day against St. Louis, but the starts after that, you're like, oh my god, this guy is literally seeing ghosts out there. Again, Efros looked good, but he's hurt, so what are you gonna do? And then trading Jordan Montgomery, who looks like if there was a second half Cy Young Award winner, he's gonna get it. And I
have it on my paper right now. 0.36 ERA. And
you traded for Harrison Bader, who is in a walking booth with plantar fasciitis, if I'm pronouncing it right. So if you're Brian Cashman, do you think your job's on the line? I mean, you're in a contract year and you're having, at this moment, despite a very comfortable lead, you're having a just terrible trade deadline. It's looking really bad. And even if the Yankees can win, how are they going to win a 4-game series when you don't even know what Garrett Cole's going to do? I mean, he's looking really like, wow, we're stuck with this dude. And ultimately, the guy who has given us hope and probably is the reason why we're not picketing at Yankee Stadium, Aaron Judge, on his way to an MVP year, didn't resign. And wouldn't that be the ultimate FU if he leaves the Yankees? And listen, if I'm Aaron Judge, you are literally treated like a god here. You're on that level. We're literally on the pace to be the next captain of the Yankees, which they don't just give to anybody.
They should have named him this year if they wanted to keep him.
Yeah, and you are on track to beat the American League home run record. If you hit 62, past Roger Maris, without the juice too, I mean, how more can you add to your legacy? And then he would just imagine. And if he decides to just go to San Francisco for more money, at the end of the day, that is their judge's decision. I mean,
I agree.
I would be pretty pissed. And of course, this, if I don't know if you saw the schedule release, the Giants are playing the Yankees. They're coming to
Mhm.
Yankee Stadium in this first year where every team's going to play each other. That was changed
Rather,
in the
yeah,
collective bargaining agreement. Of course, they did that on purpose.
yeah, it would only make sense.
And
Uh,
if he shows up in a Yankee uniform, a Giant uniform, well, if you see these same trends, can you somewhat blame the guy? Not necessarily. I can't be like, well, if this team clearly is not winning and we keep going year after year with the same
mhm.
type of baseball team, then we're literally insane. I wouldn't necessarily blame him to go somewhere else, but at the same time, if you just stay here, you won't have to buy a beer in New York ever again, and you'll be in a special war. And then you will have to um take into account that if he decides to leave, he's the one deciding to leave. So a lot thrown in there, but if I'm Brian Cashman and if I lead this mega collapse, if I create a team that has a mega collapse and my star player leaving, I mean, he's got to go. How can you sell your fan base? We're going to bring
He
this
has
guy
to.
back. And with all due respect to Cashman, he's been the GM since 1998,
Yeah.
25 years.
How many
I
rings?
if you're going by the true of him, so
Hmm.
it's technically 4, but three of them were under the G. Michael
Yeah.
regime. Those are the guys who he was the one who
Hmm.
drafted Bernie Williams, Jeter,
Yeah.
traded for O'Neill, vice versa.
Yeah. So
But
go off the
all of that
1998 draft class.
exactly. There's only one true ring that's his, quote
Yeah.
unquote his. I
And that
mean,
had and that
there
had
you go.
most of that team was still from the old regime.
Literally, right? Exactly. So
So what does that really show you?
it's time for a change. Listen, give him credit. He's definitely one of the best GMs, never having a losing season within that. But at the end of the day, it's about bringing home championships, and we haven't even been there in 13 years. And if you
Yeah.
talk about that regime again, since '98, you've all, or we'll go back after the dynasty year. Since 2000, you've only been in 2 World Series within that 23-year span.
And let's really think about his drafting. Like he really doesn't draft well. He's good with getting his star players traded for other prospects
Yeah, he's
that
good
then
at
pan
tricking
out.
GMs to
Exactly.
giving their players away.
Like I'm trying to remember, did he draft Aaron Judge or he actually traded for him as a prospect? I don't remember his upbringing.
He is Aaron Judge is a true draftee.
He is a true drafty. Okay, so
Yeah.
he hit on that. But Gleyber Torres was, I'm pretty sure, in the Indians farm system
Yeah, the
from the
Cubs.
Andrew Miller or the Cubs. Yeah,
They traded him for Chapman, and
Chapman.
Glaber is not living up to his potential.
No, yeah, and it's like it's aggravating. Yeah, like in my eyes, if when they lose in the ALCS to the Toronto Blue Jays, I he's getting fired. There's no doubt in my mind. I just don't. At the end of the day, they can't beat the Astros.
No.
But they're good enough to beat all those other teams. But a bad. It's the consistency. Could they play a 4-game series? Could they win those 4 games when they need to? You know what I mean? That's the hard thing with them.
And I
And
just
like
wish they would play harder to get that home field advantage. It clearly shows you
exactly,
need it.
you need the home field advantage. Listen, New York is the best place to play in because of that electricity in the Bronx, East 161st Street. It's pandemonium. You need that in. You need that help. There's a reason why you were supposed to win home games, and you don't play at a neutral site. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's reasons for it. There's psychological effects. You know what I mean? And just like the injuries right now too are really bad for them. They're like it's poor roster management. But it's also injuries. Like we go poor roster management. You should have kept Jordan Montgomery. You should, in hindsight, you shouldn't have given Garrett Cole all that money. You know,
Oh
you know what I
boy.
mean? Joey Gallo's playing lights out for the Dodgers right now.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I will give a little pass for that because that's just strange. But
That's just strange. But like, look,
it's
Benintendi,
still though, yeah.
yeah, Benintendi's a better option for him. Like you've been relying on Hicks in center field for years,
And
always hurt.
he's just straight up benched at this point.
Yeah, you listen. You signed Josh Donaldson, right? And in the same time, you burned the bridge with Miguel Andujar.
Yeah, that's a tough
That's the
one. I don't know
saddest part for me.
why they didn't trade him.
It's so sad because like I'm pretty sure he as a rookie he led the league in doubles and RBIs.
He should have won the MVP. MVP. He should have won Rookie of the Year in 18.
Rookie of the year. It's very sad because that kid's demoralized now.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean? You're on this biggest stage in a sport, playing well, and you get hurt. And like I'm always opinion of if you get hurt, you should have the ability to try to get back in your starting spot. They never gave him that option again because of LeMahieu, when really they should have shifted LeMahieu to second or shortstop and had him at third again. Or even the outfield, if you think about it. In the last years, left field's always been a question mark because Judges or center field. We had Clint Frazier playing there at some points. We had Judge and Stanton switching around. Like there was no reason why he couldn't have been an outfielder or just an everyday kind of guy, or even in why couldn't he be in the Matt Carpenter role? It's very confusing to me why they did that to Miguel Andujar, and I think they're going to regret it.
Yeah, and well, you honestly, as you said, it's just so weird because the big thing, you're going to keep Cole and Stanton. You'll at least have them for 6 more seasons.
Yeah.
And if Judge decides to leave, you should rebuild at this point. You're never going to hit lightning at the bottom. The only thing that sucks against Judge is his age, or we're going to tell him, you shouldn't have gone to college, asshole.
Yeah.
But we're not going to do that. So I'm not going to fault Judge for that in his age. But,
I was a proponent of them signing trading for Juan Soto to try to put pressure on Judge.
Yeah. And Cashman claimed that they never even were interested, but there you go. Even though San Diego, they'll make the playoffs, but they are not looking good so far.
Yeah, they're a mess. But Tatis is hurt and suspended.
Yeah, but Soto with that left-handed swing in the short porch, he would have been in good place. But
it makes absolutely sense.
I mean, I guess if the season ended today, this isn't working. You need to have new people look at this. The Baby Bombers type of team, how you said, rely on the home run ball. You only have one stellar ace in Cole by name, but he's not been pitching big in big situations. Nestor Cortez, maybe something there, but Frankie Montez, I don't think even deserves a start in the playoffs. He's only
I agree. I also think there's been some bad luck. You got to remember, no one expected Severino to have injuries like he did. He was their ace, and Cole was going to be the number 2 guy before he got hurt. That's what it was going to be.
Even Sevy said, I should not be on the 60 day. He still thinks he still got the left, but I'm not a trainer, so I won't debate. I'm just going off of his word.
And then look at Domingo Germán. He was playing lights out before he got that suspension.
Yeah, he did pitch well against the Mets, so maybe he's
I was at the game. He pitched well. And listen, it just comes down to injuries. And I have the injury report I wrote down. Mm-hmm. And this is why we're losing. It's pitching. Nestor Cortez, groin, he's out to September 6th. Domingo Germán, calf, he's out till August 27th. Clay Holmes is back. He's out till August 29th. This is the earliest they can come back. Mm-hmm. Miguel Castro, shoulder, September 9th. Chad Green's out for the season with an elbow. Efro, September 9th. Zach Britton, September 2nd, is saying he might be able to come back sooner. Albert Abreu, September 9th. Matt Carpenter's foot, he's earliest, he's probably out for the season, might come back for the playoffs, September 29th. Giancarlo Stanton today, Michael King out for the season. That's a lot of injuries. And if you looked, I only named 2 people that are not pitching. Mm-hmm. We have no bullpen.
And that was a big key when we were winning at the beginning.
Always.
No one was.
Even if you look in the late 20 teens of the 2000s, right? 2016 to 2020, Jason Shreve, Chad Green, David Robinson. We had a Betanzas, we had a bullpen. And that was we had bad starting pitching, but as long as they gave up a run or 2, just kept it under 3 runs, we were fine.
Yeah.
Now we keep it 0 score to the 6th inning, and then we let everything open up. Now we have the reverse problem.
It's as dog days of summer as it's been for the Bombers, and at this point, all we could just see is if they take advantage of playing, they're playing some weaker teams in the next couple weeks. All we can hope is that their chemistry rekindles, and
Like,
we
I
can't
think they
lose
have
15 to
chemistry.
17 again.
Yeah, like I think they have chemistry. I think it comes just into the fact that I just don't think they're a good baseball team. I think they got hot at the right time, and they have the best player in the league right now, and Aaron Judge playing lights out. And I think they all fed off that. And this team only goes as good as Aaron Judge does. He had a slump after the 60 games for a couple of games, and it just snowballed from there. Rizzo started playing a little bad. People started getting
He got
hurt.
hurt too at one point.
Yeah, you got to remember, once Stanton gets out and Carpenter gets out, that's a lot of home runs now gone. Like, Carpenter was averaging a home run every other game at one point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Off the bench, like that's like that. Like Carpenter and Stanton are momentum players. You know what I mean? Like, they might not always be, on point, on the spot, consistent sometimes, but when they do strike, it causes a emotional change in the team for the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
When you see a home run from Giancarlo Stanton, it goes all the way to the second deck. It's just how it is.
And he's
even
been
if he's
clutch
hurt.
before. He's
And he
been in
has
the
been.
playoffs, so
He has been for us.
I think him back in the lineup will be major, and he should be playing every day for the next final 6 weeks of the season.
Same. Put him at DH. He doesn't need to play the field.
No, he doesn't. So let's start it here. Let's take it slow. You do have a comfortable lead where you don't have to experiment and do different lineup stuff, but you could at least just get ball games. We're clearly not going to win the 110, 120 games that people thought at first, but
yeah,
that's baseball, Susan, and
can't predict baseball.
No, you can't. So remember, the team who wins the World Series isn't the best team; it's the hottest.
Exactly.
Team.
Exactly.
So this is their chance to gain some momentum, and then we could have an enjoyable October, especially if the Jets and Giants have terrible seasons once again. But
you never know about the Jets. Joe Flacco might take you guys so far away when they realize Zach Wilson's not the future.
Oh man, do you think Zach Wilson and his mother's best friend had relations? Do you believe that?
Oh, absolutely. Come on now. Have we not heard the song Stacy's Mom?
Clear it's a situation. So
listen, if
I bet
2/3 of people would probably in similar situations might just say, you know what, I'm Zach Wilson. I might just, why not?
At this point, and then he gets freaking hurt.
He's built it up his Joe Namath reputation. He just has to play. And I root for the kid because, like, listen, there's nothing worse than injuries. I'd rather you play and suck than always get hurt and be the what if.
The best ability is availability.
Exactly. You have to be dependable and accountable.
But just back to baseball as we wrap this up. New York Yankees. This is clearly, I think, the season where we're at a crossroads. If you at least win the pennant, then maybe we got something here. If not, something's got to change because we've been doing the same damn system for 5 straight seasons now, and we're getting tired of it.
Fire sale.
At this point, it's clearly not working. I wouldn't be opposed. Just somehow, some way. Make sure
I would trade every single player under the age of 20, above the age of 27 if they don't make it past the ALCS. I trade every single player above the age of 27.
You have to now. You do have some pretty exciting prospects. Anthony Volpe hopefully is your shortstop of the future. Jason Dominguez.
Yeah.
And
even got like Cabrera's playing now, Florial. Like, you got, listen, like, it's hard in this time of the season to get called up when the team's playing bad, because it's like you can't ride that high if they're on a hot streak and get called up. So like, they're struggling a little bit, but like, they're good ball players, you know what I mean? So like, we have a future. It's just, can Aaron Judge wait it out? That's the question.
And I really think if he's smart, and if he at least just gets, I don't know, 6 years, 40 million to start. I'm just spitballing, putting head numbers in my head. And if he at least if the contract's worth over 250 to 300 million,
Mhm.
just take it, man, because you're gonna add a major legacy to your career as well.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
who care? They don't care about baseball in San Francisco like they do here in New York. You know
Nah,
how
they're worried about veggie wraps and the Golden Gate Bridge are right over there.
in the Warriors. So
Exactly. That's all that matters. Like in my eyes with him too, why are you gonna leave a market like New York when you're a top player in the league? You're probably gonna make the same amount of money in New York from just branding and marketing itself. And
essentially, yeah.
so it's like, you go to a small place, like San Francisco is a big city, but it's a small town for sports. Like you're not getting that exposure. You're not the number one team in a sports city. You're with the Warriors, you know what I mean? So, and California is such a big state too. There's so many other teams and stuff like that and multi sports. New York, it only has two baseball teams, only has two football, it has three football teams, you know what I mean? It has two basketball teams. So it's like it's a smaller area, more dense population, bigger history. You have more chance to make money.
And you know how hard it is to get the New York fan on your side and
Oh
not only
yeah.
love you, but be love you.
Yeah.
And if he walks away from that'll be a hard pill to swallow, especially if he doesn't at least produce a World Series for us.
I also think he has to realize this taxes too. Like
Yeah.
California probably has hard. Look at the Freddie Freeman. Did you see that Freddie Freeman would have took the Atlanta deal that his agent never told him
Yeah,
because he would have
that's a crazy
it
story.
was
Casey
less
Close.
money. It was less money than the Dodgers deal, but it would have been more money because of taxes in California compared to Atlanta.
Yeah, I want to see if that the lawsuit he sued the reporter who made that claim. I want to see how that all unfolds. But
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. That sucks because I bet he's going to regret that for the rest of his life now. I wouldn't be shocked if he tries to go back there.
yeah, he clearly he was getting emotional when he came back in a Dodger uniform, and
Yeah,
he helped win them a World Series. Atlanta, that was their second ever championship within like ever.
hey,
Like
they might get
no
hot and do
Falcons
it again
Super
this year.
Bowl, no Atlanta Thrashers when they were a thing,
Hmm.
Stanley Cup, the Hawks haven't was haven't won. So
I think they
there you
won
go.
maybe in the 50s, maybe.
Yeah, let me just quickly fact check that. I don't think they've ever won an NBA Finals, and if they did, it as the Hawks franchise, it was someone else. But yeah, one championship, 1958,
All right, yeah.
as the St. Louis Hawks.
Yes,
So
if
not
I'm
even.
correct, I think did Bill Russell play a year for them?
Let's let's check it out. Rest in peace, the
Yes, it
greatest
called
center of
my
all
mind.
time. No, he never played for the Celtics. He
He got
just
drafted. I mean, for the maybe I forget.
yes,
It's one of
he did get
he got drafted
drafted. Got drafted second overall of 1956.
to the
Let's
Hawks.
yes, let's see how did they mess that up?
That might be the biggest mistake in trade history ever.
Gets drafted here, St. Louis Hawks. Oh, the second pick drafted Russell, but were vying for the Celtics center Ed McElhaney, a six-time NBA All-Star who had roots to St. Louis. Red Auerbach agreed to trade McElhaney for um for Bill Russell. So there
Wow,
you
well, you
go.
look at that. I'm shocked I pulled that out.
This is
How the
why we
hell
love you and have you with us,
how,
Alex. I mean,
random facts.
Brian.
You call me whatever you want. Random facts.
See, you a real one. That's what I'll call you. So, Yankees get hot in September, and we'll be okay. And I'm sure we'll do some shows right before the postseason to make sure of that.
Mhm.
So let's go Yankees. This is your time now. All
Yes,
right,
sir.
let's just hang out and talk about some other things. So I just have a nice list of things in my head. You know what I saw, Brian? There is a shortage of substitute teachers across the country.
Really?
I guess so. Now, when you and I were in school, when it was a substitute teacher day, how could you not be excited? Especially if you
Greatest
had the cool
greatest day
sub.
ever.
The worst was when you had the bad sub. But geez, what memories, what poor substitute teachers we tortured. And I think now that pretty much if you're substitute teaching, you'll just have kids on their phone not bothering you. But back in our day, and even probably earlier, like the 70s, 80s, 90s, when there wasn't any phones whatsoever, like they really messed with them. I remember once, this poor woman, um, someone put gum in this woman's hair, middle
Terrible,
school.
terrible.
I like, and and I remember once that somebody had a faulty chair. Substitute gets up, puts the faulty chair, falls, sits on the chair, cracks everywhere. I remember there was this kid, his name was John, boy laughing. I hear that laughter this day. Ha ha ha! I was like, oh my god, did she earn
That's
her
funny.
$150? Um, what were you like with substitute teachers? Were you that troublemaker kid, or were you having some fun with them? Maybe, I don't know, you befriended them or whatever.
I was the kid that did the assignment and then read a book. I was a nerd. I will
Oh,
always say that I was a nerd. My fondest memories of subs though is one in middle school. I forget his name. He's an older gentleman. Came in with a TV and Goosebumps, and he would go, Your teacher left this work for you guys, but somehow it got lost in the transition from her mailbox to this room. So we're gonna watch Goosebumps today.
now that's
Mr.
great
His
stuff.
name was Mr. Bailey. That's what it was, Mr.
That sounds
Bailey.
like a substitute day. That's such a teacher
Great
name.
man. I'm pretty sure he was like a veteran, and he like as part time he became a sub. Like he just gave Vietnam flashback vibes.
Oh,
Cool dude, cool dude, really chill. We would do Goosebumps, and you remember that '90s dinosaur like kids TV show? I can't think of the name of it. It's like the Planet, something like that.
was it like puppets, or was it like
Like
animated?
puppets, almost like puppets. Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. Like I can picture the ugly, scary, Barney looking puppets
yeah,
now.
and like one of them was like a baby, and it was in a high chair, if you remember.
Yeah, what I think is it was literally called Dinosaurs. You could watch it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I think that was it. Great show, by the way. I might, if it's on Disney Plus, I'll start watching that again.
You'll start watching it to put it on after this
Oh,
podcast.
absolutely. I'm big into cartoons again, man. I've been watching SpongeBob left and right.
Ooh, what what were some of those classic cartoon shows that you would put on next to SpongeBob? Like me, obviously SpongeBob with iconic episodes at this point. You have Ed and Eddie,
Yes.
Powderpuff Girls, Looney Tunes,
Yep. Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold. Now that's a
Hey
real show
Arnold.
right
Hey
there. That
Arnold
show
is a
hits the
yeah.
heartstrings right there.
Cat Dog,
Cat Dog, of course. Rugrats.
Rugrats, the cowardly. Was it Courageous the Cowardly Dog?
Courage the Cowardly Dog. Now
Courage.
that show, like I watch, when you get older, like people make those analysis videos, they get really deep.
Yeah,
Courage the
that was
Cowardly Dog.
dark.
Oh, it was really scary. Return the Flask or Suffer by Curse.
Yeah, that was a fucked up show. Kid show though. Oswald was my shit.
Oswald the
Oswald was the
octopus.
octopus is my shit.
Yeah.
I remember to this day I still use a phrase from it. The case of the Arctic sniffles. It was when the penguin had a cold and he called it the Arctic sniffles. To this day, if I have a cold and someone asks me what I have, yeah, I got that Arctic sniffles, and they go, "You quoting Oswald?" And I'm like, "Damn straight."
I am taking that one. I loved one thing I learned about courage. It shows you don't have to be scared of everything. If you just focus, you can figure stuff out.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
mind over matter.
dude,
What
Hey
else?
Arnold. Hey Arnold goes deep and
Oh,
like
so good.
such brilliant writing. Never
Yeah,
forget
fantastic.
the Christmas episode. Like it should be on a like a classic HBO drama. If you remember Mr. Yoon, a Vietnam refugee who lost his daughter in the Vietnam War, and just
Mhm.
a 10-year-old boy connected them together on Christmas Day. Like, come on.
Like, who got that writing? Like, who thought of
For
that? That was definitely a real story
yeah, for a television, a
for
90s
kids.
kids show.
That's what the funny thing is, though. It's like all those kids shows had such adult references. Like SpongeBob is the most inappropriate show ever.
It's literally
Watching it as an
Bikini
older
Bottom.
person, yeah, Bikini Bottom. How about like the political views in it? Hey Patrick, what am I, stupid? No, I'm Texas.
Oh,
and it's right when George Bush is president. It's just funny. Like there's just like things in it that you don't realize until you're older.
Yeah, and I worked briefly in children's television, and like they're fine. I mean, there's nothing I thought were god awful, but I think they just told these shows to dumb down for kids. I think
Yeah.
execs say that like these are legitimate storylines and imagination adult references, and when they were making, they were relatively new.
Mhm.
Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, Disney Channel started in the 80s. There wasn't people
Yeah.
making children's shows back then, so they just knew what worked, what didn't. And I couldn't tell you what shows are on now, television shows. I mean, if anybody's interviewing for those jobs now, it's like, yeah, I watch. I I don't know, but
Like what do they watch? Henry Danger now or something like that?
is
Like
that
what I
what?
don't even know what a cartoon is anymore. Oh, Peppa Pig. Yeah.
Yeah,
Peppa
children's
Pig.
cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much a regular show. That's as far as I go. Regular show, which is pretty brilliant.
Yeah, and I won't watch kid shows. I think that's a big one now, like Peppa Pig and stuff like that. But like, I guess Rick and Morty is like the closest thing that we have to now.
I'll be yeah on Adult Swim, and
Yeah.
that's some brilliant stuff right there. That's a pretty much a, I think it's pretty obvious, but a homage to Back to the Future.
Oh
Doc and
yeah,
Marty, Rick and Morty, like come on.
yeah. It's so easy. I love
What
it.
a great show.
That's a really good show.
What show I still like, I mean, new seasons start now. If we're going to transition to adult cartoons, is Simpsons.
Oh yeah, I'll always put that on just in the background. Family Guy will always be my favorite though.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's a fun YouTube rabbit hole. Family Guy jokes.
oh, it's amazing. My favorite one is when Peter is about to shoot the deer, and then the deer points behind him, and it's all the deers around him with wooden clubs beating his ass.
I like probably my favorite Family Guy joke. Um, jeez, I should know this. I like the Italian stereotypes in the Star
Oh
Wars
yeah.
episode.
Hmm.
You shut up with the shut up stuff like that.
That's
Um,
funny. What
of
else?
course,
The dome.
South Park's still rolling strong too.
I never watched South Park. I don't know
Really?
how I never got into it. But I always wanted to try it. It's like the way I like, with commuting to work now, it's like 45 minutes each way on a bus. Like I've been trying to watch TV shows in
Within
between
45 minutes?
within 45 minutes. Like I've been doing Peaky Blinders. So like the next thing I'm gonna do, I think, is gonna be like Rick and Morty or
Mm,
South Park.
South Park's great. And
Yeah.
I haven't watched the recent seasons. Like now they do more movies, TV movies and stuff,
Mm.
but they know how to stay relevant for over 25 years. Well, that's cool. One of my
Wow, it's
favorite
been that
stories.
long.
Yes, it's
Wow.
97. Matt Stone and Trey Parker are legends. And like,
Mm.
they create amazing work besides South Park, Book of Mormon, Team America, World Police,
Wow, really?
Basketball. Like they are as good as it gets in comedy writing. And
Basketball.
and one of the most fascinating stories, they were on Bill Simmons, and this was after the 2016 election where we know Trump wins and they thought Hillary wins. So
Yeah.
they made an entire episode focusing on Hillary winning because they're able to produce a show within make it as relevant as possible because of how they produce the show. Like,
Yeah.
so one of the initial ideas after Hillary, we can't deliver the show, Hillary won. Literally, they thought of an idea of putting on a black screen. Listen, we didn't expect this to happen, so we don't have an episode here. And they're just going to leave that screen for 30 minutes. But no, they hauled ass, literally took advantage of 24 hours, made a whole new episode out of it.
And did they ever show the Hillary one?
No, I don't think so. Maybe
See,
it'll
that'd
show
be
up one
cool.
day on like a DVD release. Well, no, they don't do those anymore. Maybe
Maybe
they'll
like
just,
an anniversary.
yeah, they'll just throw it up on HBO Max or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I would like to watch that.
Yeah, so I think you really get into that history of South Park. And the first South Park movie, Bigger, Longer, Uncut, is really, really good.
I'll have to watch.
Yeah, then if we talk cartoons and animation, like the animation movies, one thing I'm not opposed, but a lot of people our age watch these animated movies like Luca. What's the one with the we don't talk about Bruno?
Oh, I don't know, but I forget what that one, but I know like Coco.
Yeah, Coco. I mean,
Coco
all
was really good. Coco was great. I cried in Coco.
I've seen they really know how to pull your heartstrings and
Oh
also
yeah,
honor. They also
heritage.
honor all these heritage. What's this is going to be the Italian movie. This will be the Colombian
Yeah, they
movie,
really did, and they hit deep every time. And I'm like, come on, man, like, what are we doing here?
right? So I pretty much I'm not opposed. I will watch these movies. I love watching every movie, you know me. But
Yeah.
I did watch Inside Out, and I also haven't had anybody. I haven't had a significant other in a while to
Mm.
watch these type of movies with. So I figured I'll save it all for that time.
Yeah.
But Toy Story
I'll
4
tell
was
you,
probably the latest one I did.
I
You were
haven't seen
saying?
that yet. But talk about a throwback animated movie, greatest of all time. Oh, it's animated and partially live action.
Mhm.
Osmosis Jones.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy how they pulled that off. When I was a kid, I saw that in the theater, and I was
I
like,
saw
"Wow,
that in The
this is
Substitute
innovative."
Teacher.
And they did like, Osmosis was. I mean, was he?
I
I
think it
should
was like a
know.
white blood cell in Bill Murray's body.
Yeah, what the hell? Who would have thought of this? Then he
It's
had his
actually
friend was a
genius.
literal pill.
Yeah, like it's honestly like really genius, like to think about that, because like that's a
Yeah.
great way to describe. I wonder how many kids watched that and became doctors or went into the medical field, because that's a big influence though, That's
Yeah,
what,
an
cartoons are
anthropogenic
very
white
good.
blood cell in
Yeah.
Osmosis Jones,
Yeah.
and the
Cartoons and
cold
media,
pill.
it's great for that.
Let's see. Tell me if you agree with this consensus. Oh,
Mm.
wait, first, the funniest meme ever during COVID was when they had the villain of Osmosis Jones.
That's the Jones, yeah.
This is what COVID looks like. Played by the great Lawrence Fishburne. His name was Thrax.
Yeah. Anthrax, basically.
An extremely deadly pathogenic agent. Ooh, that does sound scary. So, do
But
you
it
agree?
also gave like Cold War, like some World War II Nazi vibes too, though. Like the villain, like it was very like dystopian. Like,
Oh
what's going
man,
on here?
dude, I there was apparently a deleted scene where they ran into his semen, and
Oh God,
they just couldn't, kids
yeah.
didn't
I
get it at then.
I wouldn't want to watch that as a kid, but I also like as an adult, like I don't want to be seeing that with Bill Murray. I'm good.
So, how much stock do you take in Rotten Tomatoes? Personally, I think it's great.
I think it's pretty
understand.
accurate.
I think it's pretty accurate. I would say for every 10 reviews, I agree with 9 of them.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But some hardcore cinephiles think it's too, like, they don't believe it's that accurate because anybody could add to the score and it's open to interpretation. But you know what? Fuck them.
Yeah.
It's mostly right. And I love reading critical consensus.
Mm.
Like I can literally do a whole podcast reading critical consensus to
You
you.
should.
They said for Osmosis Jones, 56. So according to them, it's just an okay movie. But
I
I
give
can
it
give it that.
65. You know what I think it is, to be honest? Cinematography, and that it's a little weak. Like I
Mhm.
think it wasn't as sharp, the live action in it, because I bet they didn't have the budget because they were doing so much animation.
Well, Brian, I think you could be a critic. According to Rotten Tomatoes, it says the animated portion of Osmosis is zippy and fun, but the live action portion is lethargic.
Wow. See
You
that that's
hit that
crazy
on
right
there.
now.
You
That
hit that
is
one.
that is, you know what? I think I might have to go play the slots now down Atlantic City after that.
Yes. Some of these references, the use of gross out humor in the film's live action sequences, as seen in most films directed by the Farrelly brothers, who I do like, was widely criticized, but like the live zit, that was pretty gross.
Yeah, it
It
was a
wasn't
little like I
fully gross.
remember it was like almost like blurry a little bit, like, but it's also like that was just the time. Like that's just like how it was.
Yeah, this movie came out in 01. We've gone a long way since then. But yeah,
Yeah.
animated parts were praised for their plot and fast pace in contrast with the criticized live action sequence. So yeah, you hit that. Oh man. They should have I remember they had a show called Ozzy and Drix.
Mm. Oh, here's another animated movie.
Mhm.
Golden. We'll watch it anytime, any day, anywhere with
Golden.
anyone. Ratatouille.
Oh, guess what? I've never seen Ratatouille once.
We need to change that. I will come over to watch Ratatouille with you and make Ratatouille.
Awesome. We could do some responsible shenanigans while we do that.
Oh, I'm sure.
This got a 96. Rotten
Yeah.
Tomatoes said fast paced and stunningly animated, Ratatouille adds another delightful, entertaining entry and a rather unlikely hero to the Pixar canon.
What year was that?
2007.
Yeah, and you know what? If you think about it, that really kicked off animation again because it had a lull in those early 2000s.
Yeah, I mean,
Was
was
thinking about
Cars.
Toy Story was done already. Cars, what didn't happen yet?
Oh, say so. You have the ultimate hot streak. Toy Story 1, Bugs, which is underrated.
Bugs was great.
Bugs, Bugs Life. Toy
Yeah,
Story 3, Finding Nemo, Incredibles. What a hot five to start with. Then Cars is okay. Lightning McQueen's kind of a dick, but I love
it's
Paul
more of a
Newman so much.
it's like a cult like following.
Yeah. Well, I'm not part of that cult, but Ratatouille
Mhm.
number 7. So yeah, I think you make a good point there. If we just quickly look at the Pixar catalog, then Wall-E hits deep.
Wally was phenomenal. Wally's probably one of the best. Honestly, that was ahead of its time because that was our cartoons are very good to teach kids stuff. That was climate change before really it was getting spoken about.
Oh, they need that movie now.
Oh yeah, well
Have you seen how
you
brutal
know
these summers have been
why
here in the
why
Northeast?
Wally isn't an animated thing now. You just have to film a documentary and it's the same thing.
Right? Up. I mean,
Up,
up.
oh my god, Up was a tearjerker.
Toy Story 3, which they pulled off a great third film.
Yeah,
Great. And I will say great. Lotso Hugging Bear. What a great
yeah.
villain. Cars 2, the first terrible one. Brave, it's pretty good. Monsters University, I like. Inside Out
Mon-
is spectacular.
Monsters Inc. Wow,
Never saw The Good Dinosaur.
I did I.
Didn't see Finding Dory or Cars 3. Coco, as I know, as you
Yeah,
said, really good. Incredibles 2, also didn't see. See, that's where I pretty
I
much
think I saw
stopped.
that.
I pretty much stopped at Toy Story 3, but I did check into Toy Story 4, which I think they generally pulled off the perfect quad trilogy. And
Is it over now? They're not gonna make any more.
they better not. I don't think so. I think
Like
we'll
it's
finally
like
get.
Star Wars. You're gonna ruin the Star Wars has gotten worse as they made movies.
Why do you think so many people love the Star Wars movies so much?
Um, Generational bond.
Mm-hmm.
You could talk with your grandfather, your father, and you, and then eventually your son. Just speaking from the male perspective, and all talk about Star Wars and get it. You know what I mean? Just because of the actors in it, and like it's always been around. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things. Like it was goofy. It was like a goofy spoof kind of thing when the '80s.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became big in the '90s again, and big actors and stuff. I think it just comes down to like it's getting worse now because it's Disney.
Yeah.
But I wish George Lucas still did them and not like Disney because the last three movies, in my opinion, really set them back. Now the TV shows are so much better.
Yeah. Now, I like Star Wars. I'm not a huge Star Wars junkie. I've seen all of them, movies at least. And I actually did tune into Obi-Wan Kenobi because I think Ewan McGregor is awesome. And that
Oh
was
yeah,
pretty good.
I like that.
And yeah, dude, the first three, I mean, we'll start with the first two, as in New Hope and Revenge of the Sith. That's quality filmmaking as it get. The third one's
Yeah,
okay. Phantom Menace ass, but you give it some childhood points.
it's more like the Liam Neeson and like that duel with Darth Maul is just
Yeah, you literally
like
could.
great. Like that movie is only relevant because of that duel and the instrumental
Oh,
in it. The Duel of the Fates is the greatest, one of the best,
it went in.
orchestras
Liam
ever.
Neeson was great, and a younger Ewan McGregor goes in. New Hope is one of the worst movies I just ever seen.
What the which one?
Not New
The
Hope.
original one?
Not New Hope.
Attack of the Clones.
The Attack of the Clones. When you
See,
have,
I liked it because I'm a big clone trooper guy, so I love the clones getting
how'd you
introduced.
justify some of that? Just some of the writing and acting.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just,
listen, I hated it. Like I
it's
don't like
just
the
like,
writing. I just like the action.
and then Revenge of the Sith, one of the best examples of a movie that started off so hot, falls on its face. You have
Yeah,
one great battle that falls on its face again.
I think it comes down to the fact that Christian Haydenson was a terrible casting for.
Yeah, Hayden
Uh,
Christensen.
yeah,
You got it backwards.
Yeah, I say Christian Hayden. Yeah,
Yeah,
hey, exactly. Well, honestly, Christian Hayden would be better than Hayden Christensen as an
right.
actor. So, you know what? Like, I don't give it his fault. Like, they had listen with a movie like that. It's very hard to have a lot of big actors because of the amount of CGI. Like, you
Oh,
already had Ewan McGregor, you had Samuel L. Jackson, and like, it's a lot of going into that just for CGI and like this build. All that stuff has to be built and stuff. So it's a lot of green screens. They had, I bet they couldn't spend a lot of money on Anakin, and I wish they got someone like that would have played really well. Like when I was thinking about it, like
I think
Killian,
Leo was considered. I don't know
yeah.
if he turned it down or just never got to it, but Leo was considered. But that would be, I think Leo's career would be so much different if he took that too. So,
If he made that, he would have got blew up even more.
but do you think he would have still done these powerful art? Do you still think we would get a Wolf of Wall Street, will we get a Wolf of Wall Street? Will we get a Blood Diamond? Will we get a Departed if he was tied into those
Yeah,
Star Wars
because if you
movies?
think about it, look at Hugh Jackman. Hugh
Mhm.
Jackman did X-Men, but he's done a lot of great other movies, serious movies and stuff like Prisoners. Did you ever see Prisoners?
Prisoners is great.
Yeah, terrifying though. Like his actual like acting like is you get scared. That's how real it is. Like he's a great actor. Like he still was able to do it. Um, I think it was one of those like look at Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson did those two
Well, he
movies and
does
then he's done.
everything.
Yeah, he does everything. It's like well, it just depends. I would have liked to see Cillian Murphy or Tom Hardy. Can you imagine Tom Hardy as Anakin becoming Darth Vader?
Do you feel he would be a little too angry almost too
Yeah,
tough?
but it would make sense though. Just think about that character. He's in constant torn apart. That's the most Tom.
Essentially, Darth Vader was created because Anakin didn't jump high enough and he was passed for a promotion. with
Literally, that's at the end of the day. It just comes down to he was still a kid and he didn't want to wait his turn.
with the most obvious reveal ever that the old scary dark guy talking to Darth Vader, and by dark I mean like literal
It's
like
creepy.
creepy. Oh, that's the Sith Lord. Big surprise.
They actually said, you see, like I'm a big Star Wars guy, so I can nerd out about it. But they actually say why none of the Jedi could actually figure out that Sidious was an actual like Sith guy. So the Jedi Temple was built on a former Sith temple, and when after like the first like big Sith Jedi war, they decided to just bury it, pour
Oh,
concrete, and build a temple over it to hide that dark energy. And over time, it seeped in and leaked into the temple basically and clouded the judgment.
oh, well,
So listen,
what brilliant writing, I guess.
we've known for the history of the time not to build on ancient burial grounds. And what did they do? They built on ancient burial grounds.
Oh man, but that last battle, that last Anakin, Obi-Wan did Revenge of the Sith was pretty sick.
Oh yeah, it was like dancing. It was that choreographed so
One of the
well.
rare, I think one of the few times where the CGI actually worked
Hmm.
and like flowed together, because most of the time we see CGI, unless you're like Avatar, James Cameron, the human eye knows at this point what's real, what's not.
No,
But they
yeah,
pulled that off. I'm proponent for less CGI. I'm Chris Nolan in this.
yeah. No, I agree with you.
Oh,
Imagine Chris Nolan, and that's a guy who if they ever do
make a
another
Star Wars
trilogy,
movie?
Star Wars movie, like
I
honestly,
don't
like
know.
why
I
did
don't.
Heath
That'd be tough
like
for me. I like him as more of his realistic. I mean, he pulled off Batman, but
yeah,
I don't know.
maybe.
I would see who else is out there.
I wonder if Heath Ledger ever had an option to be Anakin. That would have been a good fitting.
Yeah, it would make sense at the time.
It looks like he looks a little bit like he would fit like the look of Anakin as well, just with the blonde, thin, like
Mhm.
lanky, like it would have made sense.
Man, the one of the craziest lines I've ever heard in a movie. Love won't save you, Padme. Only my
Yeah.
new powers will.
Yeah. Or if you're not my friend, if you're not with me, you're my enemy. Like, come on now. Like, who wrote this? Like, who thought it was
What
good?
a joke.
And the funny thing is, Lucas is it's a whole thing. It's a space western.
Yeah.
It's literally a space spaghetti western. Like at this point, Tarantino should direct it.
I mean, anything for that. I was reading an article. But how much of a Tarantino guy are you?
I love Tarantino.
The best. He literally made cinema, being a cinema nerd, cool.
He made movies about niches and movies. That's what he did. Every movie he made was about a specific genre of movie.
One of my favorite person to ever hear on a podcast.
Me
No
too.
matter who it is, Mark
He-
Barrett or Rogan. He has a new podcast himself called Video Archives.
oh yeah. He's a
Um,
little whacked out. He's a little whacked out. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like you have to be a little whacked out to be like a man like him.
hell yeah, that's confidence, man.
Yeah.
He's just an awesome person to listen to. And I read this article. I don't know how serious he was, because you know how everyone says that when he said that after 10 films he's done, he's already
Yeah.
made 9 of them. And I think he's 9 for 9 in quality.
Yeah, 100%.
He's like, maybe Once Upon a Time in Hollywood would be my last, which person's like, you know what? I wouldn't mind that. And on top, that he could just be, live off a retired life, being a living legend like that, raising his kids and, being a cinema god. Or do you
Supposedly,
want him to try to go out on top with the 10th film?
I feel like you just keep on making him at this point. Like, it's his passion. I bet it's difficult, but like, I heard that he might make a remastering of Reservoir Dogs.
I've heard that. I've heard possibly a Star Trek film, which is pretty random. A remake of Less Than Zero, which is a dark movie. I don't know if you
Less
ever
Than
saw
Zero
it.
is, I love that with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, one of the saddest endings.
He
ever.
didn't direct that, right?
No, I think he once mentioned like, oh, that'd be cool to remake. So
I
I
could
doubt
see that.
that.
I could see that. I would like to see him do a gangster movie.
A gangster, like a Italian gangster one, not like the
Like
Pulp
a
Fiction or
like a John
Reservoir
Dillon,
Dogs,
like a Public Enemy, like
like
Legends with,
Prohibition type gangster.
yeah, like a Prohibition. It feels very him. Like Reservoir Dogs is similar, but like I feel like he would, like, if one was to make a Peaky Blinder movie, it would be Tarantino. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like he would do that well.
No complaints from me there.
Yeah. Or a war movie. I would love to see him do a war movie.
Besides Inglourious Bastards, do another.
Besides Inglourious Bastards, like that's more of like a war movie, like spoof.
Revisionist history one.
Yeah, like a revisionist history. I'm talking about like a We Were Soldiers, or like a Saving Private Ryan kind of thing, like a realistic. I'd like to see him do something real.
Which war would he excel in a movie?
I also feel like he would do one that like isn't overdone. So World War II's out on the table, Vietnam's out. Like, I could see him doing like a Gulf War, like current war, but I could also see him like redoing the Patriot and making like a war, or like the War of 1812 or something like that.
A Civil War one too. Not a lot of people.
Yeah,
a lot of people go pretty much 20th century and up in terms of
basically like those wars. Yeah, but like, well, he did the Hateful Eight, so that's like Civil War era. So like, I could see him doing like, I want to see him like do something that isn't like, he hits a bunch of different type of genres and movies with his stuff. So it's like, I'd like to see him now hit something else. Right. I'd like to see him do like a romantic drama.
I feel like he would get the best chemistry actors of all time, and then they wind up actually falling in love.
I think it would be as good as, I think he would have like as the same amount of impact as Basic Instinct had on like romantic, like thriller dramas.
Like also adding like the erotic thriller nature to that too.
Yeah.
They don't really make that much anymore.
Yeah, like Basic Instinct kind of movie with him would be ridiculous. Could you imagine like in chapters?
The only thing, you have to add his pop culture reference and almost campiness.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
But if anyone could put these things together, I guess it would be, I know it would be him. But
yeah,
regardless, also, we will see his next strategic move. But your final point with that?
Other thing I could see him doing, imagine him doing a Stephen King novel. Like type of movie, like a Stephen King
book. Which Stephen King book is left to make?
I don't know, but I'd like to see him do JFK, 1963. If JFK didn't get assassinated, it's like the guy goes back in time to try to prevent it.
Have you seen the Hulu miniseries on that?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, they already did that, Brian.
Damn. Well, Tarantino would do it better. I haven't even seen it.
It was a solid okay. I got really bored at the end of it, but
But I feel like he could add his kind of like flair to something like that. That would be
interesting.
very him.
All right, I hear you out on that. Yo, so Brian, you like breakfast?
Always.
You like
Most
cereal?
important. Yeah, it's the most important meal of the day.
What are your type of cereal? What are your love for cereals? Like, where do you go?
Um,
What cereals are you picking nowadays?
to be honest, as I get older, I eat cereal more as a snack, dessert now.
As a snack and
Or
dessert.
dessert.
You
Yeah.
know what's crazy? I'm kind of the same way. I've noticed that lately. I had some Rice Krispies yesterday. It just melted your mouth.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what's
You know what
so
it is?
good? Oh, yeah. You going?
Oh, no, you continue, please.
All I was saying is just what's so good but so bad for you. Fruity
Oh, of
Pebbles,
course.
which
Oh,
I just realized last year that they're just sugary Rice Krispies.
oh yeah, it's a little food coloring.
I never put two and two together. But what was your other point?
I do like I've been big in fitness lately, so I've been intermittent fasting, so I haven't really been eating breakfast as much now. I stopped
Yeah,
eating at 8 o'clock at night, and I won't eat until like noon or 1 o'clock. And I like it. It helps me focus and stuff like that. It's very good for the mind too. It like helps you like become more disciplined and focused.
yeah.
But so I've been eating cereal as my snack after dinner, and I've been really big on Frosted Flakes.
Ooh,
Um,
that just makes the sugary milk. Oh my god.
yeah, Frosted Flakes, Cheerios, always a go-to, and what's it called?
You ever have Cheerios? Like Cheerios taste the same, but then once in a while the Cheerios hits different. You
Yes,
ever
I know
notice that?
exactly. Yes, I also like Cheerios is the only cereal that I will always like. Will be like go. I will eat Cheerios first, dry, then with milk.
Really?
I love dry
You
Cheerios. Like
love the oats. You're a horse eating its
yeah,
oats.
basically. But what else? What is it called? Shredded wheat, mini wheats.
Mini wheats. I never ate those. I never got
Love
into.
mini wheats. The
Do you
little bit of like frosting.
remember Captain Crunch?
Oh, I love Captain Crunch is good. It's just so bad for you.
Oh my god, it destroys the bridge of your mouth.
Oh yeah, it's so bad for you. I
It's
remember I
literally
went to the
like
dentist.
if this is my mouth, if this is my mouth. No, I don't want. If this is my, I don't want to hit any of my lectures. If this was
It's
my mouth,
Brillo.
it's just like,
Yeah, it's literally like eating like bricks and Brillo.
Oh my
It's
god,
so coarse and it's so hard.
dude! Cinnamon toast crunch is different.
Cinnamon toast is really good soggy.
Yes, it is. You literally just pour
Soggy.
it in there, walk away for a
you
minute.
remember?
Oh.
Like
And
that's like peak drunk off a night of tequila and rum chata.
oh man, cereal is definitely a after a night out meal all the
Oh,
time.
of course. Just, it feeds the body well and it's absorbent.
Yeah, right. And you know, combining ice cream as cereal toppings,
Yeah, so
milk bar.
Milk
Yes,
Bar.
yes,
It's
in
a
the
okay.
city, the
Yeah. Well,
big.
they have one in Connecticut as well. I think that's where actually they got started from. Um,
Oh wait, are you talking about Milkcraft?
Milkcraft. I meant. I'm sorry, not
Yeah,
Milk Bar.
yeah,
Milkcraft.
yeah.
Yeah,
Milk, but I
Milkcraft.
think there's a milk bar in New York City
There's a
too.
Milk Bar as well. Milkcraft and I think Milk Bar
Oh,
as well. They take
in
Frosted
Fairfield,
Flakes.
Connecticut.
Yes. Shout out to my girlfriend. They crumple up Frosted Flakes and make like this crunch that they put on top of ice cream.
Which flavor is that? I always go for the
It,
cookie butter.
I think it's Frosted Flakes. They put it on
Oh
like
my
on top.
goodness.
They
And
like
it's
crunch up Frosted
want to
Flakes
hear a
and they
funny
put it on
story
ice cream.
about I'm sorry to interrupt, but you want to hear a
No,
funny
you go.
story about Milkcraft?
Please tell me. What girl did you take a date on to?
Oh, I ca- I haven't crossed that off. I've only gone with my brothers. I
Yeah,
went on a friend date and one failed Tinder date there. So I'm like 0 for 5 in dates with that, but
it happens.
we'll pick it up there. Um no, sorry, like I've been there with the people. It's mostly my brothers, and then yeah, one
The
failed
one in
date.
Fairfield, right?
Yes, the one in Fairfield.
Okay, so have you gone to the ramen place next to it?
Yeah, Mecca Noodle.
Love that place. I
There's one in
swear by
Norwalk
that.
too. Well,
Oh,
Brian,
really?
I'm in Connecticut for a couple weeks, so
I'm in
once you come
Connecticut this
back,
weekend.
hey man, hit me up. I'm
I
just
love Connecticut. I might move. I love that place.
Oh, trust me. After you
So
leave,
much better than New York.
you definitely understand. I understand why my parents are native New Yorkers that moved here. But hit me up. Just
I will,
Saturday.
absolutely.
I'm busy Saturday, but Milkcraft. So yes, I've only been on one date there, didn't work out, and then the other times were just friends. But during the pandemic, like April, this is not even April, March 2020. There's nothing to do. No one's on the
Nothing.
roads. Me and my brother's like, let's see what's out there. And we thought like if we get pulled over, this is the martial law. We're going to jail.
Jail, yeah.
So like it was that crazy, but we went anyways. You know what? The one place that was open,
Okay.
Milkcraft. This was like say the pandemic started March 17th. This was like March 24th, Brian. Like
Yeah,
this
no,
was
yeah.
as we were risking our lives to go to this place, but we went anyways.
I got sent home March 9th. I remember it.
Yeah. So March 2020, the only place we went to was Milkcraft. We show up and this dude was high as fuck there. He's like, no one's coming through. And then he was like, yo, bro, don't worry, we're cool. And he hooked it up for us. Got our
I love that.
Milkcraft. It was great. So I always loved Milkcraft because they helped us in the pandemic.
I'll tell you.
When I had that, I knew that we were gonna be all right.
No, yeah. I'll tell you though, Fairfield, great ice cream scene.
Oh yes. I did have
Sunny
one nice
days.
date. That ways I went there.
Yeah,
I've been
Sunny
there
days
with
is
a
good. And there's a new place
female
that opened
before.
called Tabitha's. Tabitha's ice cream.
That sounds like
Really,
an ice cream
really good.
place.
Really, really good.
I
Good
get
quality, good price, good
I get
toppings.
I get ice cream and bakery vibes from the name Tabitha.
Yeah, right. Like it's someone's like aunt that makes them for a holiday, and you know they're coming in good. And she has the little tin for you to bring home.
Ooh, how can you not be excited with that? How about what about switching? Well, I guess we'll just say a few things on Fairfield.
Yeah, keep on flowing.
Geronimo's, you ever been there?
Not yet.
Now that's a date place.
Yeah, I know. I've been hearing good things about it.
What other Fairfield things I know? I just know that they were cheap at football. I don't know where your girlfriend went. If it's Fairfield, what was it? Fairfield Ward. Fuck them cheaters. But I hope she went to the other one.
I think I have to ask her. I think she went there.
Well, if I am lucky enough to meet her soon, I'll have to express that. Cheaters at football. But
Yes.
besides that, it seems like a good vibes. I know it's the home of John Mayer.
Is it
Fairfield.
really?
Yeah. Like he literally
That's
grew up
interesting.
there.
That's
John
funny.
Mayer. The John
Of
Mayer.
all people.
Yeah, right.
You know what? He does give Connecticut vibes.
She really does. There are some nice houses over there on the water.
Oh yeah, no, it's a nice town. Connecticut is it's an extension of Westchester on a coast. That's the way I think about it.
Clearly is.
It's coastal Westchester.
Fairfield County is Westchester Junior.
Yeah.
Actually, now let's think it back. I did actually have two other pleasant experiences with other people at Milkcraft. So it's not so bad. It's just been a while, clearly.
Yeah, listen, it's a circus. I did try this place. Finally tried Frank Pepe's.
Oh yeah? What do you think?
I had fresh tomato pie.
Ooh.
It's seasonal. What a great pizza.
Oh, you just want to give a high five to the chef right after.
Oh, amazing. It was just like I took a bite and I was just like, this is home.
Dude,
like, this is some Nona's cooking.
Clearly, I went to in Manchester, Connecticut, which is upstate. Went to a place with Pepe's with an old friend. And I remember the waiter, we stayed like 15 minutes and the waiter would not give us her check. So we just went up, they paid for it. She gave such an attitude. It's like, we're supposed to go to you. And we literally said we waited you for 15 minutes. Awkward silence, and we just walked out.
That's funny.
Oh man. That's why I went home for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, you gotta go home and enjoy sometimes.
Yeah, my mom has a big birthday coming up. I won't say.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if she's okay with me saying the age, but she's having a big birthday with lots of people. It's a white party. I'm gonna invite you on this camera. You and your girlfriend. If you're bored on Sunday, if you happen to be in the area on Sunday the 5th, of September. Like I have nothing to do. We just need some vibes and alcohol. Come through. Hit me up there.
Labor Day weekend? Yeah, sure. I'll take a look.
Yeah.
If I'm free, I'm free. I think you know that she goes back to school, so I think she might not be able to. But if I'm free, I'll pull up.
Dude, there is so much alcohol in my parents' living room. For me, as you know, I love bartending and being a
Yeah.
mixologist.
Don't
I'm in
tempt.
heaven.
Don't tempt me now, Matt.
Oh, I'll send you a picture. I'm literally gonna send you a picture once we sign off here.
Here's the real question: when are you going to actually become a mixologist? And I want to see you behind the bar. I want to see it.
You know, I was thinking, do I want to apply during football season? Nope. If there's I will make videos of me bartending. Sure. To actually work, I'm gonna wait till after football season.
Makes sense. I get it, but I got to see you behind the bar. You got skills. I need to see it.
Oh man, I am not afraid. You got it. I'm gonna make a promise here that within the next month on my video, I will actually make the drinks. Like I'm about to
On
just
the video?
I'll make a video as I show for people watching on YouTube, just like
Yeah.
you
No,
know,
you
my
should do that.
iPad.
Yeah, you should do that though. You should actually make a drink on the podcast.
Oh, that is a great idea. We have the things rolling as here's one of my margaritas, a sex on the
Very nice.
beach,
Great
a dirty
colors.
martini, a cosmopolitan, Bloody Mary. I got them all. So I got to prove
Fun
myself.
fact, never had a Bloody Mary before.
It is so gross. I don't get how people drink that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm good.
I
I
know the
really deal with the
story.
hangover.
The story is that Ernest Hemingway, I believe, invented it and needed to make a drink that didn't have any scent of alcohol. So he made that. So you mix your tomato juice. I mean, first it's mainly a vodka drink. Mix your tomato juice, your horseradish, your salt and pepper. Oh man, but people love that. That's like,
Some people drop an egg in this too.
yeah, if you want
Yeah.
to be insane.
Yeah. Oh, it's Hemingway. So you know what? Like, I do like reading Hemingway though, because like I find his books aggravating, but I still read them because they give this really good vibe the entire time that your main character is like gonna like win the girl and run off into the sunset, and at the end in the last chapter the girl dies or his main thing that he was going for crumbles every time.
They're just like, haha, just kidding.
Just kidding, this is real life. It's like funny. It's like haha, like he's a realistic,
Man.
you know. He's
Clearly.
had some interesting he's had a lot of criticism in his time, but still classics.
Nothing but we love the classics. And yeah, with the Bloody Marys, people will drink those instead of mimosas, but
I love a mimosa. I'm big on a screwdriver though.
Oh yeah, which is just vodka orange juice. And
yeah, like simple, easy. Maybe even a little grapefruit.
Oh, that's a good little twist on that.
I've been big on grapefruit mimosas. I've been liking a little bit better.
Oh, a great grapefruit drink is I'm gonna pull it up right here. Where you make with grapefruit, and a solid grapefruit's like $2, so don't mess it up. No, wait, not this one. I was about to point the wrong drink.
Love a good grapefruit.
As we say that, as we look, what is a drink that you just hate? But next to here it is. But I'll ask you that. The blinker, make it with grapefruit and whiskey, and there's definitely another ingredient that I'm forgetting, but try the blinker. I mean, look at this color.
It's a nice shine to it.
I think it's grapefruit. If I do it correctly, it's grapefruit juice, whiskey, Garridine. I mean, I have an iPad. I can look up the things right now. A blinker cocktail is made with 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. 2 ounces of rye whiskey, 1 ounce of grapefruit juice. Oh, it's raspberry syrup, which is hard to find. You have to go to a liquor store specifically. And you could put either 3 raspberries in it or the actual garnish it with an actual grapefruit. So yeah, I haven't made one since last year, but if you want to be more impressive,
I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna try that out.
The blinker. And besides that, before we wrap it up for today, What are some drinks besides the Bloody Mary that I just don't understand why people go crazy for?
Anything with tequila,
Like next to,
except
with tequila?
anything that has tequila in it, except a margarita. I can drink a margarita. I can't drink anything with tequila. It gets me sick. If you remember, we went out that time after the podcast. I had one shot of tequila and I almost threw up.
Tequila is like the drug of all the spirits.
Yeah,
You have to be careful with that.
you have to, because if you like, see, I was very good with it for a very long time, and then my 21st birthday, I went too far with it, and I've
Yeah.
never recovered. Your body gets like an automatic like gag reflex from it once it hits that. I also think it might be that like I just like the taste of like the agave might get upsets my stomach as well, but yeah,
Like bad tequila is genuinely unhealthy for you.
unhealthy. But tequila is very good for your body.
Like if I get a Casamigos or an 1800 or a high quality Cuervo, that's good. Really, why is that?
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up right now. No, I mean like health benefits. Like tequila is like a good health benefit drink.
So drink tequila right before bed, everybody. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Till we get the letters
I
on that
just
one.
saw it. So it helps control blood sugar levels and prevents type 2 diabetes. It helps
Ooh.
improve bone health and density, promotes longevity, and even stop or reverse aging. Prevents and helps treat colds,
Reverse
flu,
aging.
other infections, and lowers cholesterol.
Okay, please, tequila advertisers, reach out to me, mbrown3212@gmail.com, and we will promote some of that stuff there.
Like I still drink it for the health benefits, of course.
Dude, somebody told me to have an espresso martini with tequila. I haven't talked to them since. Like that
Yeah,
doesn't.
no,
You can't have that with coffee. Like
no,
what the fuck?
no, you can't do that at all. No chance. I do love a good espresso martini. Or in the morning, ready? Big Italian thing. Take a shot of espresso, and then you clean the espresso shot, right, with Zambuca, and then you chase it with it.
That's how you know with the Zambuca. Oh, what good times. And yeah, man, I will start making some more alcoholic concoctions in the
Gotta get
sense
ready for
that
the party.
I will start making more drinks and putting them on camera to actually prove myself. For all I know, I just had someone else make those pictures. It just took them. But
Yeah, no. Maybe make an Instagram account.
oh, Matt Drake's productive cocktails.
Brown Brown Brewery. I don't know. Could it be a
The
thing?
Brown Brewery.
The Brown Brewery. Come on now. I might have to trade that mark myself and have it give it to you.
And there are beer cocktails out there. Not a lot,
Yeah.
but there are.
I'd rather if I have a beer, I want just the beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But I saw this stuff. I didn't even saw this. We all pour beers the wrong way.
really? What's this correct way? If
So
you
you're
could
not
also
supposed.
explain it too for those listening.
So if everyone sees my screen, here is a cup and a bottle of water. Most people will tilt their cup and pour because they want the least amount of foam, right?
Yeah.
But then when you then settle it, right, because it didn't foam, all the gases that are still stuck in the beer are still there. So when it goes into your stomach, they then erupt because now it has it's flowing down and it has ability to expand and off gas.
Mm-hmm.
It causes you to get bloated and have a stomach ache. So the correct way to pour a beer is actually the way you should do it. So a typical like draft beer, like I forget how many ounces it is, the actual glass at a bar.
Like 16
ounces. Do it 16, I think, in the glass itself, not the bottle. I'm trying to think. I think it's a little bit less of it.
Let me just Google that real quick. We're looking at what are we looking? We're looking for
typical draft beer glass.
Typical draft beer glass. One thing I am gonna hire next is my own Jamie, so he could help and do it for me too. Do the research for me.
Gotta get your brother in the off season.
Oh man, I would love to, but that dude's always grinding somewhere. But we'll find one. But he's definitely has an open invitation. It says here 16 fluid ounces.
So it is okay, but like the way you know that you pour it right is that you're supposed to pour it straight on like this. Just simple pour straight up, let it go up and foam like halfway, and then you continue to pour once it drops down, and you allow that gas to come out of the beer.
Thank me later type of stuff.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
I've done it because I've had and that's why I don't drink out of bottles anymore. I always ask for a glass and I pour it out of the bottle, because when you just drink it out of the bottle, it still not has the ability to gas up. That's why, if you ever tap the bottle, or, if you drink it too quick and then you pull it down, it foams up again because it's getting exposed to that air again and shaking it up and going and allowing it to off gas.
Mm-hmm.
Here's
Well,
your engineering for the day right there in chemistry.
this is why we love you, Bryan, and thank you for that solid advice that we will not be forgetting. Thank you for an awesome conversation all over the place. And like I said, I am excited to start a new season of podcast with you when it comes to NFL and other fun stuff beyond that. But thank you so much, my friend. I'll give it to you one more time. Is there anything else you want to say?
Everyone, it's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. It's the weekend. Have a good time. Make a memory or two, and don't forget to forget it by Monday morning. Enjoy.
Absolutely. Even though this airs on Tuesday of next week, don't forget that for this upcoming weekend. You're the man, Bryan. I appreciate you. I'll be talking to you very soon. And keep staying awesome, my friend.
Anytime. Thank you again, brother.
See you later.